What's good? It's your boy Q North Star again. Um, I just had another just random thought pop through my head, and I was thinking, what's better, real or fake? And why I thought about this question was earlier this evening I was on my Facebook account and I was scrolling through the feed and everything, and I saw this one photo that someone had, I think, shared, and they were comparing what white girls wear and what black girls wear and saying, well, one is creative and one is called ghetto. And I thought about something and I'm like, oh well, let me not forget this. It excused the fact that half of what the black girl side was wearing was, of course, not her real hair. Um, but the side with the white girl, it was her real hair. So if a white girl was wearing, blonde hair with red and green highlights or whatever, and they had a black girl with the same thing, well, there's a fundamental difference with that. Um, Black woman's hair doesn't look anything like a white woman's hair. It's completely different. Black women's hair grow up and out, left, right. Uh, White girl's hair grows down. Um, there's a big fundamental difference. And so I was going to comment on the photo, but then I said, today has kind of been a chill day, and I want it to continue to be a chill day. So I wasn't in the mood for a fight or a battle today. So if you want to say I chickened out, I chickened out. But I just really wasn't in the mood to argue or whatever. I just wanted to just basically make a point to say, well, you call yourself queens of the earth. I shouldn't say that particular person, but in general, um, most black women see themselves as queens. And so my question to you is, when you call yourself or you see yourself as being a queen, um, isn't usually the queen the trendsetter? Meaning the queen is not trying to look like someone else. The queen is actually trying to look like herself, but be creative with looking like herself. So instead of having a bunch of different black women in the photo with wearing weaves, they would be wearing their natural hair and then wearing it like in different braid styles or, just whatever style, you can do with woolly hair. Um, then I could understand that question or that making that statement. Um, but my question, I guess, I want to ask, whoever comes across this video is, what's better, real or fake? And I always wondered or just curious as to whether or not why a lot of, well, I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of black men who choose white women, are they doing it because in their minds they think that they would rather have the real thing as opposed to having someone just putting on a hair hat? Um, because black women's hair is not naturally straight. It's not naturally, just it doesn't just hang down. Unless, they're mixed with something or whatever, whatnot. But uh, typically, a black woman, a pure black woman, does not have straight hair. They have kinky, curly hair. My hair is cut, but you know, in some of my other videos, you could see my hair was pretty woolly looking. And also, you know, I try to understand. I don't just try to attack because that's what some of these sensitive black women feel like. You're attacking them because you criticize their weave or you criticize their perm, and sometimes I just like to play devil's advocate. And I would just say, like, if a black woman comes across this video, how would you feel if you met a man and he had a fake penis? Meaning, not that he didn't have a penis, but meaning that he wore a fake penis that made it look like he had a bigger penis than what he actually had. And you get home and he just peels this thing off, and it's like, You know, this thing is like this big. You thought it was like that big. How would that make you feel? I think so many black men are just so thirsty. I don't think they care. I think that they'll do anything to get some behind. But um, I think brothers who really are starting to become conscious of this and seeing it as seeing this as an epidemic of black women not liking who they are. Um, you see a handful, literally a handful of men who actually have like relaxers in their hair if they have long hair or something like that. Like you might see Snoop Dogg with like a perm, or Al Sharpton with a perm or whatever, whatnot. Even James Brown had a perm, but you don't see it on the scale in black men like you see it in black women. Um, and one has to ask the question, you know, whenever a black man is critical of a black woman, they accuse him of bashing and hating black women, but I don't think it's bashing when you have a legitimate question. Why are you wearing other people's hair? I can sort of understand perms, though. I mean, with the chemical content, um, I don't think it's really good to be putting it in your hair. I think it can have an adverse effect on your, makeup overall. You're putting chemicals on your head going into your brain. Um, they I think they say don't even put perms in your hair when you're pregnant. So clearly, this stuff affects your body in some way, shape, or form. But what is it that makes you feel like you have to change who you are naturally and call this concoction natural when it's really not natural to who you are and what your biology says you are? You take away the one thing that makes you very unique. You see athletes, you see random brothers that have dreadlocks down to their back, and or they just have braids or long hair or whatever the case may be. And I guess I'm not trying to bash. I'm just trying to find out, trying to ask questions. Why is it do you feel like you can't be who you naturally are? Because as a black man, my hair is woolly. There's nothing I can do about that. I mean, I guess there is, but I wouldn't want to change anything about me just because I appreciate how God has made me. You know, I've had afros quite a few times in my lifetime, and it's intimidating to people, but it's who I am. And if people are intimidated by afros, then let them be intimidated. But there has to be some type of explanation as to why. Maybe it's not necessarily self hate, but self dislike. I don't see what's so fashionable about wearing someone else's hair and making Koreans rich. Um, it's like $1 billion industry now. With them selling hair. I mean, and then we turn around and we complain about all the bad things in the black community. Well, why don't we take that money that we spend on weave and other hair care products and put that back into our neighborhoods? Therefore, we don't have to rely on any other outside entity to take care of our community. We could be self-reliant. Um, you know, I don't know necessarily what brothers do where they waste their money probably buying Jordans. Instead of buying Jordans, let's buy our children, pro African or pro black, educational books that teach them who they are and who their ancestors are, or be like me, study the Bible and realize that you're, a biblical Israelite. But there's so many other things we could be doing with our money outside of buying Jordans and, expensive clothing and expensive cars and weave and perms and all this other stuff. As a people, we are frivolous with our money, and then we complain about, how the white man neglects us. when it comes to certain things. And I think a lot of it is because of our own fault. We are very frivolous with money. We'll burn thousands of dollars and get into debt to look fresh and fly. And at the end of the day, our kids are getting dumber and dumber every year, because we're allowing Europeans to teach African children, or you know Israelite children. But just so I don't confuse people, I'll just use black children. Um, we're allowing the oppressor to teach our children, which are in turn just teaching our children how to continue to be oppressed. And we're not liberating our children by looking fly, or by having our hair done and looking fly. It's just, again, it's just a lack of priorities, I think, in the black community, that we waste our money on things that profit other people but don't profit us. At the end of the day, we are obsessed with vanity, and we try to give off this image like we are so fresh and fly. And at the end of the day, we're killing our future, because we're not teaching our children how to be independent entrepreneurs, and how to get around the oppression. And that's one thing I try to do is, even though I have a job and I work for other people, I'm always thinking in my mind, how can I flip when I take the money I'm making, instead of giving it back to someone, what can I do that's gonna flip it and make money for myself, and try to invest in myself, and try to find what motivates me to do things. That's what I try to do, when I can. Times are tight, so, but hopefully with time to come, making some more money than I have been making, I'll be able to reinvigorate that thought process of rejuvenate it, rather, to investing in myself and moving forward and doing things for myself, and become self-sufficient, and not relying on people who don't like me in the first place, to supply me with goods and stuff of that nature. Um, that's one thing I try to work on myself. But at the end of the day, um, we have to take a strong look at ourselves and ask ourselves, what's better, real or fake? Because this fakeness is killing us. And that's the real of the real. Being fake is killing us, um, because these images are all false, that we try to put off, or show to the world, like, you know we're balling and this and that, but in reality we're broke. We're poor people. We're on the bottom of everything, and we're just not where we need to be and where we should be as a people, because we have been taught that whatever money we get, we have to then put it back in their economy, in other people's economy, but not in our economy. And I think that's one thing that we need to do. So, leave your thoughts, your comments, what your ideas, whatever, whatnot. Because I think it's good that black men share thoughts, and black women, if you come across this, share your thoughts and ideas on the things I touched in the video, and just to try to uplift everyone. All right, so peace.